Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to look at these proper retro bad boys. So these are a pair of Fortune powered speakers. So it has two C cells in each one. So I'll put that in there because they do tend to fly out. And it's got a weird arrangement where you can attach the speakers together or you can pull them apart. So you can sort of move them around, whatever. So you know they can be separate for stereo separation. I'm just going to put them back together because it's easier to handle if they're together. Oh, saying that, there we go. So that slides in there. There's no volume control, so it's taking a line in, and we can test that. So let's do that. Let's turn it on. So this is running on those C cells. I've got the old classic games console tester, universal tester. Everyone should have one of them. So we're going to connect that up just using some clips. Refresh that. Hang on, that connection's a bit dirty. There you go. Ooh. Maybe that one's a bit dicky. Hang on. It's got tarnish that end. There we go. There's that one. This is only in mono, so that's that speaker. This is the other speaker. Hang on, I'll probably shorten it out. Oh no, that's not working either. Maybe the cable's dicky. Hang on. Oh, there we go. So that works. And the other channel works. That's not bad. So let's have a look at so there's a bass boost. So your bass and treble boost, that's normal. That's normal. That's bass boost. And that's treble boost. Kind of works. As I say, there's no volume control. But the sound quality is not bad. I think. Just turn that off. I think if this was on a computer, it's got a 6-volt DC input there. If this was on a computer, that might be really nice retro computer experience. I think I might bring these back around. They do need a clean. Part of the problem, there's a couple of issues. There's always a few issues. Let me just move this stuff out of the way. So there's a couple of fairly serious issues with it. So firstly, this cable is really bad. It feels very floppy. I think it's partly broken inside. That plug is very, very tarnished. The whole thing looks really bad. I've got a feeling that's been replaced at some point and badly. This one is sort of partly chewed through. Maybe it was trapped in something, or maybe a hamster got hold of it, but that's no good. So that's got to be replaced. Also on the back, I'll tell you what, with the batteries in, they're quite heavy. On the back there's this foam thing here. So I think what happened was this was originally set up as a monitor for something, maybe against the wall or whatever. To avoid vibration, somebody had stuck this foam to it, which is a bit of a shame really, because it's made a right mess. What I like about it is this here. So maybe, yeah, you can see where the cable's sort of gone a bit chewed up and bit naff, and it aligns with this. So perhaps it's partly that's causing it. I don't know. But I like the fact that you can do that. That's really nice. So this is like portable sound before Bluetooth or any of that stuff. Actually, quite a neat bit of kit. I wonder what the runtime is on batteries. The other quite cool thing is it's got these little loops here. So is there the idea that you could have your tape deck or whatever and then something slung over your shoulder? I mean, it's not very ghetto blastery, but you could kind of do that. You could carry them around. It's a bit weird. Obviously this won't work without that. So they do come as a pair. There's no plug for this. You can't run it in mono. I'm thinking maybe that might be quite a nice little upgrade, so you could split it up and have it running in mono if you wanted to. But they're nice as a pair anyway. So I think the next step is to try and clean this stuff off. I'm going to use some alcohol for that. And then take them to pieces. Let's have a look inside, see what makes it tick. I suspect there's not much in there, but you know, all the gubbins are going to be in here. Yeah, actually no, I'm not sure about that, because this has got power. So maybe they do operate as independent amplifiers. There's an amplifier in each of these, but they're not designed to come apart, because there's power in each of these speakers. So in theory, I wonder if that works actually. Let's just test that theory. So if we take this, well, we can leave that one on there. Let's turn it on again and grab our dodgy sound source and connect that up. Right, because there's that there and the other side. So if we take the batteries out of this one, do we still hear sound? No. The sound disappears altogether. I guess it's the same with the other one. If we just let it run, yep, take it out and the sound disappears completely. Interesting. So maybe it's very loud. Maybe this connection lead here is power as well. It must be. Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. Right. Well, first things first. Let's give it a clean, because it's in a right state. And I think ultimately we're going to be replacing both of these cables, so yeah, that's all good. Let me take these batteries out first. These batteries are really old and crusty, but they apparently work. Well, just old designs, you know. So you sometimes get these batteries that are lighter than air. There's nothing in them. Anyway, so there's no corrosion, no obvious corrosion or any of that stuff. Let's see whether this foam actually comes off. Let me have a look. Let's see if we can let that soak in a minute and then see if we can scrape that off. It's not perfect, but it is better than what it was. Most of the big bits are off. It's actually really quite difficult to get this off. I've used all sorts of compounds and stuff. This sticky remover, which is good, and the alcohol, and lots and lots of elbow grease. Yeah, I mean, I could continue and do more, but that's probably good enough for now. I've got to be honest. So the next step is to take it to pieces, and just grab a little tin. Let's take it to pieces and see how it's put together. Right, so we've got a screw there, a screw there, there's one in there, I might actually separate these, a bit easier to work on actually. A bit more unscrewing. Right. Okay, so there it is. So it's really simple, as I suspected. So this is the passive one. There is actually nothing in here in terms of any active electronics. It's just a speaker. So it's a 2-watt, 4 ohm 2-watt speaker. Not a bad speaker really, given the the size of the thing and whatever. So that's actually not bad. This could do with further cleaning really. But so what have we got then? So there's a common ground there, and actually it's the red one that goes to the speaker. So the white one. So you've got common. Yeah, okay. So it's the black and the white one that are actually the power. All right, that's cool. Well, that kind of works. Which way around does that go? Goes like that. Okay, cool. Let's open this one. So this will have all the actual electronics in it. and that all comes away, and there's the battery pack, and that is the circuit there. Wow, there's quite a lot going on now actually. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Now I wonder whether it's held. No, it's not held down at all. So that's it there. Oh, maybe it's less. Okay, so it's a what is that? UPC 1177 something H. So that's a dedicated stereo amplifier IC. There's something floating in there, a bit of foam. Quite sure where that's come from. Yeah, weird. Okay, it's probably just a piece of packing and stuff that was in there, but I see what happens. Okay, so these two screw holes there, when you mount this in, you get those to line up along with the LED, which is going to be a tricky one actually. That's going to be a pain in the ass because there's like a channel there to put it in. It's got to be down that way. It's one of those LEDs with that square front bit, which can be tricky. Oh no, there we go. It does line up, but you have to make sure that other side is also in the right place. It's actually quite fiddly. What I've got to be careful of is I don't end up. Well, I'm not going to worry about that yet. Getting it all to line up in that hole is going to be tricky. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do. Well, I need to rewire it. That's what I've got to do. So this audio cable needs to be. It's just using a flipping twisty thing, but I suppose it works. So this cable's definitely. I mean, there's no strain relief on there. That's just a knot. So I suspect that's been replaced. I'm going to replace it again because it's naff. And yeah, I've got to make a note of where everything is. So I'm going to replace that one and replace this cable. And yeah, I've got to figure out where this stuff goes. Maybe I should just splice it into the existing wiring loom as opposed to just, you know, doing anything else. So that might be easier. All right, cool. So that's a little project there. I'm thinking that maybe I should take all the electronics out, including the speakers, so that I can give both cases a proper wash. It's very difficult. So this stuff here is really good, but it does leave a residue and a bit of a smell. And I've used it. I use it all the time. It's really good stuff for removing sticky weirdness. But it does leave a residue and it does leave a bit of a whiff. And it's not that unpleasant, but it's slightly oily and it's what it leaves behind. So I don't like that. So you can see here, this case. I mean, it's very dusty and horrible. So really, that does need a proper clean up. I've got to be careful. I'm not going to rub anything off. So a bit of hot soap and water, and that's going to make that look a lot nicer to handle. Right. So I need to get these off as well. I'm wondering whether I should just pull these tabs. Oh, they do come out. Yeah. Okay. And we know which way around it is because it's shown on there. So that's quite a neat way of that coming out. So that's one. Be careful I don't damage these speakers. I did think at one point I do have some better quality speakers. Maybe I should just replace the speakers as well whilst I'm at it. But you know what? For what they are, they're retro speakers. The sound is the sound, you know what I mean? There's no point in messing around too much. Some of these screws have actually had a bit of treatment, so I suspect it's definitely seen some action. Right, so that's that one. Again, that's all pretty horrible in there. Let's put that to one side. and see if we can pull these ones out as well. Yep, they come out pretty nicely. Oh, that's actually quite straightforward. That's good. So there's all the electronics stripped out and the cases. So I'm going to probably bung them in the dishwasher. The cones themselves, I mean, they've got that very fancy looking silver dome. I like that. That's really retro. Yeah, they're not the best speakers, but you know what? It's probably good enough for what I'm thinking about doing it, and it's going to allow me to work on the electronics a bit more easily. The reality is that the any kind of strain relief is kind of it's kind of missing. So if you look here, this is the primary unit with controls and everything else. There's a hole there and a hole there, and that's where the cables go in and out. So what you can do is work on it all and then just assemble it afterwards, so you haven't got to worry about much. It's actually pretty good. It sort of almost lends itself to maintenance. So yeah, that's the next step. I'm going to get the case cleaned up nice, then we'll take it from there. Well, it's time to start messing about with this and soldering it up. So I think I don't need that much distance between the two, so I reckon all I'm going to do is just cut it there, and then this comes off, and there's quite a big amount of cable visible there. I'll take that off and then I'm going to solder it in there. So because I don't need that much distance. I'm only thinking they're going to be like 30 centimeters apart, if that. I don't need much separation. I haven't got much space on that bench anyway, so I think less is more. Less is more. What I've got to do is make sure that if I undo that so we can see the distance, yeah, that's probably enough for what I need. Yeah, all good. So there's a horrible flipping knot in there. I don't like it, but that's what they've got, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, and so let's tin these leads. Get me helping hands. So what I'm thinking is this is should be a fairly straightforward matter of just soldering this on there, and that leads good enough, you know. I can't handle that. That's just naff. Don't like that at all. So what we're going to do first is remove. I should put this out of the way a minute. Don't need that. So let's get that off there without desoldering the connection to the speaker, because that would be not desirable. Okay, and again with this one the soldering is very marginal on that one. Well, I'm not sure I like the way they've done that, but there you go. Nope, that is not coming off. Move it around that way so I don't burn the wire. Okay, be careful there because there's two wires on there, and really they probably should be twisted together, but we'll see whether I can get this to work. Okay, now the other one, I'm probably not going to be using this, to be fair, but you might as well just we need to restore it as if it's could work on batteries. You never know. I don't really want to be spending loads of money on flipping. So that wire disappears, and we're gonna just move that one into position. Right, so that's now restored that bit. So I think the connection between the two is all right now. Next thing is the audio lead. Now, the audio lead is it's actually not too bad. The cable seems okay. It's got a couple of little dings in it, but that plug is really bad. It's just, I mean, if I show you the difference between that one, the tarnished one, and that one, I mean, it's night and day. You know, the difference is quite remarkable. This has been used a lot, so I'm just going to have to chop it off. And what I'm going to have to do is chop it off so I can restore it in a way that makes sense. I'll tell you what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to take this cable tie off. Looks like something you might have on a loaf of bread. It's a bit warped. Anyway, here's what it is. So we've got, move that out of the way a minute. Firstly, let's get this cable. So this is actually an extension cable. All right. So I think if I cut it in half, that's probably good enough size-wise. Again, I don't need a big cable. I don't want a big cable. I want it to be big enough without being a pain in the arse. So I'm going to put another knot in there. Again, I don't like that, but in lieu of any other strain relief on the case, and there isn't any, let's tin these wires. Right, I've got this out of the dishwasher. Not quite finished yet, but it's still soaking wet. But that's this one with the controls. You can see is the left one. So let's go back and test that.
You should be hearing this out of only the left side.
Yeah, that's right.
You should be hearing this out of only the right side.
Yeah, that works. Cool.
You should be hearing this from both sides.
Interesting. Okay, well that's all good. So go back together. It seems to work okay. And that power supply is set to 5 volts. It's absolutely bang on.
Left, right, both.
It's drawing 0.36 amps. So 35 milliamps. So does bass use more ampage? Maybe it does a bit. You go up to 60 odd. Right, let's get this button. That's really loud. Let's get this buttoned up and then we'll see what happens. What better way to test it than some proper MIDI and one of the best games ever made. That's alright. Turn it up a bit. I don't know why I like that so much, but that is really cool. So get yourself a pair of beaten up retro speakers and let's get retro. See you next time. Cheers.